Blues listeners. This episode is sponsored by the app Autograph. Use the code GOLIONS, one word, when you sign up. The only app that scours all social media platforms to bring you all of your favorite team's content, keeping you as up to date with the Lions news as Dan Campbell himself. Autograph also has fee-free tickets. Yeah, you heard me. Stop buying $100 tickets with $300 worth of fees added on top. It's time we start to normalize not paying for fees on our tickets. Go to the app Autograph to get your fee-free ticket. Autograph's co-founder, Tom Brady, is also giving away a signed TB12 football. To get entries to win it, just go to Autograph and play in their Survivor Pool Weekly Challenge. Earn an entry for every week you correctly guess an NFL team that will win. If you lose one week, no biggie. Just come back next week and try again. Earn up to 18 entries, and maybe you will have a Tom Brady signed football at your house. Just download the app Autograph and use the code GO. All right. Yes, we have the Saturday 11 a.m. slot today. We are going to lead you right into all of this fantastic college football that we have just 24-ish hours away from the Detroit Lions, who will win. I don't know about 34-21. We'll get to all of our score predictions later on in the show. Make sure you stick around so you can see that. Who won our predictions last week? We have stuff to talk about like injuries, Lions, Bucs, keys to victories. But first and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to this team right here. That's right. Last night, me, my wife, my kid were sitting there like, let's go to the Tigers game. We've been to one Tigers game. It was in April this year. So we're like, let's just go to a Tigers game. My daughter's like in full mode softball. We're like, let's go to a game. We'll talk about like the count and the outs and like, where's the play at and all this fun stuff. So we get there and we're talking, we're flying through innings. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. And we're, Juliana, what's the count? How many outs? Where's the ball going? Next thing you know, it's the 8th inning. And I'm just looking around. And I look at Baltimore. They have 0 hits. Yeah, boys, it took me to the 8th inning to realize I was watching a no-hitter. Did not realize at all, just having a great time. 8th inning comes, we get through the 8th inning, no-hit baseball. And at this point, now I'm flipping out. Now I'm texting the boys. I'm like, what's happening, dude? Did I just randomly pick the best one of – I don't know how many no-hitters the Tigers have thrown, but –
we threw a combined no-hitter last year.
So, and I think total we have like 20 no-hitters maybe. That might even be like a stretch, maybe like 10, 15. But there's 162 games of baseball. We've been around for over 100 years, 120 years. And I might be witnessing one of 20 no-hit games in Tigers history. I'm watching, dude. 1 out in the 9th inning. I'm watching, dude. Edge of your seat entertainment. 2 outs in the 9th inning. We're sitting there, dude. I text Adam. He's like, I text you guys, but you're sleeping, Julius. So Adam's the only one awake. And I'm like, he's the only person I haven't texted yet. I text him, am I about to witness history? I click send, look up, and Gunnar Henderson rips a triple past Torkelson. And he was like, nope, dude. No, it was so terrible. But the Tigers got the victory. Twins got a loss. Tigers get back within 2.5 games. 3, so technically 3 games out because they have the tiebreaker. The Twins do over the Tigers. 3 games out, 15-ish games to go. We're in the freaking midst of a playoff push in September. We got this with the Red Wings. We're getting this with the Tigers. We know what the Lions will do. Boys, October in the D, is it about to be electric? More electric than April in the D?
It's shaping up. Thanks to the Lions. It's shaping up because we never had October in the D where the Lions went complete trash and we had something to hope for. I mean, we had like Pistons starting off, Red Wings starting off, Tigers losing in the ALCS or the World Series, but we never had the Lions on top of the NFL. Rebuilt Tigers team full of just young bats and the best pitcher in baseball. And the Red Wings, which I don't know y'all opinion on the Red Wings, but I completely think they're supposed to be an NHL playoff team this upcoming season. So we got a lot to look forward to in October. I can't remember the last time it was this lit.
I would say 2013 with that Scherzer, Verlander, Cabrera, all the 5 Cy Young winners, and then when the Lions made that playoff push in Dallas with the infamous flag pickup, which ironically I was watching Bryson DeChambeau's Breaking 50. I don't know if you guys heard about it or know about it, but he has a guest on and they try to break 50 from the red tees, and it's pretty cool because they haven't done it yet, but he's got really close. He had Tony Romo on, and he asked Tony Romo, what was your favorite football moment of all time? And this guy says the Detroit Lions playoff game when he threw the go-ahead touchdown to Terrence Williams. And I vividly remember, he was like, I just remember throwing the pass, falling down, seeing he scored the touchdown that just was banging on the ground. And I remember Tony Romo doing that exact same thing. And that was right after the flag pickup. And it was just like, oh, no. So you're welcome, Tony, for your best NFL moment.
That's a great tidbit, dude. I did not know that. I had not seen that. I freaking hate Tony Romo now. I liked him. Romo was always a good guy to me because he won me a couple fantasy championships, him and Miles Austin. So I was always okay with him. He's a great announcer, but now he is on the list, dude.
Well, it's crazy you mentioned Tony Romo too, because I saw a Jordan Love comparison to Tony Romo. Oddly similar. It was oddly similar, like the injury history early on, the stats, everything.
I will take that. If Tony Romo and never wins one playoff game, has great regular season stats, fantasy champion, sure, but wins one playoff game, that's music to my ears, boys.
Does that mean 3 to 4 years they're going to draft like a 3rd round, 4th round mobile quarterback that's going to become a preseason phenom and take over and have the next highest paid contract?
No, that's always in the books for Green Bay, dude.
Honestly.
Can't they just have a Matt Flynn for 8 years, dude? Not playing the Lions. Let's switch it over to something a little bit more depressing. I'm going to turn the flag over for this one. Hall of Fame linebacker, Detroit Lions, Joe Schmidt, unfortunately passed away at the beautiful age of like 92, 93, I think it was. Hall of Fame middle linebacker, one of the first great middle linebackers the NFL has ever seen, helped the Detroit Lions win championships in 1953, 1957, and truly without him and the defense, I know a lot of people only really relate those championships to Bobby Lane because it's the only name they can really remember from back then. But if you can remember Joe Schmidt, please do. Prayers go out to his family. He was just an unbelievable dude. William Clay Ford announced him at his Hall of Fame induction. Again, he was the leader of the defense on that 53-57 championship winning team. He lived a great life, like I said, into the 90s. Like, we can only hope we can make it that far. So I just want to give a quick shout out to his family, to him and his playing career and his off the field career, like huge Detroit icon, especially for any of the older listeners out there. So, rest in peace. We appreciate everything you did, Joe Schmidt. And then we're going to move on. We're going to try to pick it back up a little bit. Babe, wake up. New Dan Campbell commercial broke out, boys. Come on now. What did we think of this one? This is the 3rd installment of the MCDC Applebee's universe, as I'm starting to get this called. So what did we think of the 3rd episode of the trilogy from the MCDC universe? What do we think?
Dude, just give him an Oscar already. Dan Campbell is like such a good actor. And it's like, we've seen multiple other head coaches do, commercials. Andy Reid, especially. Bill Belichick did Subway. I'm sure there was a bunch of other, head coaches that have done things as well. But this is like right in the limelight, man. These commercials aired, I want to say, like on Thursday Night Football. They aired on Sunday Night Football. Well, obviously Sunday Night Football. But I'm sure they'll keep being pumped out throughout, the NFL games. It's just so cool to see like Dan Campbell come on your screen after the Lions had just, laid a butt whooping on, some other team. So I feel bad for whoever. I hope so bad someone on like Fox is a diehard Lions fan and somehow syncs up these Applebee's commercials to where the Lions are absolutely blowing out the Bucs. It's 27-3. Baker Mayfield just threw a pick six to Carlton Davis. Then the first commercial, it's the Dan Campbell Applebee's. And all the Bucs fans are like, oh my gosh, come on. But, oh, no, the third one, I still think the second one's my favorite. Third one was pretty good too. Overall, it's just so awesome. I need more. I need like 50 of these. I could have an entire like show on Dan Campbell working for Applebee's.
So great.
This
Julian,
is just further proof that the Lions are America's team. When you got your head coach on a national restaurant franchisee's commercial in multiple parts, multiple segments, probably going to be on there for the whole season, it just proves the Lions' popularity as a team and the popularity of their head coach, their leader. And I think it's always a great thing when your head coach is the face of the team.
it's true. It really is, as opposed to like your star player.
Exactly. It's like
Super cool.
your teacher being the head of the classroom instead of one student running things or whatever. It's just like it's the way it's supposed to be. So I think we got a great leader and he's a great actor. I'll give him my Oscar.
I give him an Oscar, dude, for sure. I agree with Adam in the sense that number 2 is still the best, dude. The way he looks at that wall and then looks at that kid and is like, next week this wall is mine. That's so funny, dude. It's so. But in this episode, or in this latest installment, we get him yelling at Joel, table 4, not table 3, Joel. It's good stuff, good entertainment. If you haven't seen it yet, go catch it. I'm excited mostly to see it come right after we pick off Jordan Love on Thursday Night Football and just run it back to the house. And next thing you know, it's just Dan Campbell being like, cover your mouth. They're going to steal your order. It's so great, dude. I love it. That's it. Let's get to the breaking news. Breaking news. All right. Hopefully we get some breaking news tomorrow, meaning all of our guys who are injured just miraculously found Jesus and woke up with no injuries. So hopefully that's what we see. But we have some injuries and some crucial ones at that. We're going to start out with the boys that aren't playing. These are the guys that are out and or doubtful, but doubtful we always know. I've only seen like one person in my life be doubtful. And then
I know.
So I'm considering a doubtful and out. Those guys are Ife Melifonwu for the second week in a row will not be playing with an ankle injury. Isaiah Williams for the second week in a row will not be playing with an abdomen injury. And Marcus Davenport is out with a growing injury, something we all talked about religiously after the signing was, can he play 17 games? I'm going to start with Ife, second week out. We'll start Julius. What does this mean to you? Anything? Are we okay? What do we think here, Ife?
I mean, we could always use a safety death, and he finished the season very strong last year. He was really looking like a gem in the rough, one of Brad Holmes' specials. But it always stalls out when you start the season out, not playing. So we need him back. I think we need him back. You never know what's going to happen to Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. We need somebody with experience and his athleticism on that back end. So holding my breath and just hoping that it's a few weeks, and then if he's back, it doesn't sound like it's anything crazy. Maybe like a poor man's Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco, but good thing if he is not a offensive player, because then all these fantasy managers would be effed up just like they are owning McCaffrey right now. But shout out to Ife. I miss him. I miss his his interceptions, his tackles, his blitzes, and we need him back.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's more of a want right now than a need. We handled the Rams without him. I should say handled, but we beat the Rams without him. Obviously, we saw, Stafford kind of start to tear it up in the second half and Cooper Kupp popped off. But if he does, he's kind of like an extra safety blanket, so to speak. And I would feel much more comfortable if he getting out there than, trying to see what Brandon Joseph has. And of course, we're going against Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and now a new emerging speedster in Jalen McMillan, who I want to say was a 4th-round Bucs pick, but he looked good his week 1. Baker looked phenomenal. So the more DBs, the better. I do think we'll be fine without him, but it's just like another one of those, all right, hopefully this, doesn't just keeps progressing to get better. Don't need any setbacks, and we'll be all fine.
Yeah, I agree. If he is a want right now, not a need, but he is a big want. He was, like as Julie said, huge down the stretch last year. We were casting him to the side like Will Harris almost for the first years of his career, and then he showed us what we had. Patience is a virtue, and we waited and waited, and we finally saw. I want to see that back. Like, I know that him, Branch, and Kirby in a rotation in that safety position is key. It's so vital to keep your legs under you, especially in these early weeks where a lot of players get dehydrated quicker. They're just not used to it. They aren't getting a lot of snaps in preseason, very limited snaps in training camp and limited reps in training camp. So I want to see him out there for the sake of the other safeties' legs. But we'll keep it on with the defense. Like I said, Marcus Davenport, doubtful, probably going to be out. He's huge because we all know, in my opinion, I guess we don't all know. In my opinion, we have a lack of depth at the defensive end position. We have a lot of good fillers, like Josh Paschal. He can fill over here. James Houston, maybe he gets called up. We have Pecco, I think he got called up. So we have a lot of guys that can come from the interior and the edge both. But ultimately, Marcus Davenport last week showed us why we signed him. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he came out amazing on the opposite side of Hutch. And with Levi, Aleem, and Davenport, Hutch was getting single blocked one-on-one, was getting one-on-one reps over and over and over, and was beating those one-on-one reps, led the lead in hurries, it had a sack, just looked phenomenal in my opinion. Marcus Davenport being out, Adam, how crucial is that? How impactful is that?
Out of 10, I say it's like a solid 7. I don't think it'll be, like if we were out Aleem, obviously Hutch, Anzalone, someone like that would be closer to like a 9-10. But Davenport, yeah, he did show out, and we heard every Lions defensive lineman was, raving about him. Aleem came out and said, I always know when Davenport's next to me because I can hear how hard he hits the offensive linemen. So I do think we will miss him to an extent, but hey, if Dan Campbell was serious about lining Aleem up on defensive end, and he's actually, a little bit more mobile than he was last year, I am so excited to see that.
That would be nuts. Julius.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of worried about this Davenport injury. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know. I think Adam on our show on Tuesday, we might have mentioned how he had that kind of like Charles Harris when we first signed Charles Harris. Remember, he kind of broke out big, kind of on a contract year, trying to prove himself, injury history, former first round pick, like Marcus Davenport, and he kind of had that impact, like that big game impact. And I hope that somebody is behind him to provide that, because Hutch needs it. Honestly, like we can't just leave Hutch on an island. But DJ Reader is coming back, so hopefully the inside collapse pressure is much better this week. I felt like that was lacking a little bit last week. Alan McNeil was a little bit quiet, but evidently, Reader and McNeil together, we all know in the history of the Lions, Big Baby Sean Rogers and like Ndamukong Suh, these guys, that inside pressure really makes a difference for the edge guys. So even if Davenport is out, I'm hoping that with DJ Reader coming back, that kind of makes up for a bit of the pocket collapse. And Aiden Hutchinson has more help, because let me tell you right now, Aiden Hutchinson might be the best pass rusher in the league after week 1. I promise to God. And right tackle Luke Goedeke is out this week for the Buccaneers. Don't be surprised if we have a 3.5 sack game from Aiden Hutchinson this week.
Luke Goedeke from what college?
Central.
Fire up chips, baby.
I was right, though.
Good call, baby. Good call. Got drafted the same year as another Central tackle. I can't remember his name, though. He's from Australia or something. Anyways, I'm very nervous about this Davenport injury as well, because this is what we talked about. Davenport can't stay on the field. He has one amazing game, growing injury. Bro, Shannon Sharpen out here, I guess, or something like that. Like, let's just Stop, Adam. Stop. Let's just let's get
You got
past
any
this.
good sound bites for that?
No, I didn't get any good sound bites for that. No, but I'm checking my IG live every day these times. So anyways, don't worry about that, everyone. Davenport getting injured is nerve-wracking to me. I expected him to be huge. Like, I called it. I wanted him to be healthy. I know how good he is healthy. I've seen him up close and personal at practices at the Senior Bowl. I've seen him play. He was drafted in the first round for a reason. Get on the field, stay on the field. Hopefully this is just a quick 1 week injury. Rest up. We'll get you back. Maybe even rest up until the bye week. Just rest up until week 6 and then start playing everything. And let's see what the defensive line looks like when it's Aiden Hutchinson, Levi Onzawerke, DJ Reader, and Aleem McNeil. The biggest fucking defensive line in the entire world would just smoke everyone. It would be so fun to see that. Adam called it out. Give me Aleem McNeil on the edge. I want to see a spoon move similar to Hutchinson from Slim. I would love it. That would be really fun, but it makes me nervous. We are going to break up our injuries. Let's talk about someone who's playing, and that's someone we kind of talked about already, DJ Reader. How big is it that DJ Reader is coming in a Detroit Lions uniform to play football on Sunday in Ford Field? First time we get to see this. Adam, what are you thinking?
I think it's huge. We saw that last week the Bucs center was the lowest graded center per PFF out of any center in the league with like a 49.7 rating. So he had a bad outing. I don't know if he's a rookie or for year 2 guy, but I know he's a younger dude. Just kind of get his first, few starts. But yeah, DJ Reader coming back. I think him and Aleem on that inside. I don't like. We saw Kyron Williams last week. He couldn't even do much. He had just that 1 yard touchdown, which was kind of a gimme. And that's how I think it's going to go with Rachaad White. I expect him to have, like 13 to, 15 carries, 40, 50 yards. And then maybe he lucks into that 1 yard rushing touchdown where, Mike Evans goes down the one or something like that. But DJ Reader, I'm expecting a big game. I think he's going to have at least 1 tackle for loss if it's just he bulldozes the dude into the backfield, sacks the running back and the quarterback, or if he just gets a sack because he's a big dude. And when you have 2 big guys like Aleem and DJ Reader going up side by side, it's tough to stop. And I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Julius? DJ Reader thoughts?
I mean, I kind of mentioned it last segment, but DJ Reader, I mean, as long as he stays healthy, just don't let this turn into another Marcus Davenport situation, right? Because I remember when we got Marcus Davenport, I always bring up the game he had against the Lions a couple years ago where he had like 2.5 sacks and dominated. I'm like, oh, that guy can stay healthy. He'll be all pro. That's kind of how I feel about DJ Reader. Never made a Pro Bowl, never made an all pro list, but if he would play 13, 14 games in a season, he'd be one of the best defensive tackles in football. And that's pretty much what he is consensus as. So it's huge. It's huge. And you just got to watch out for him in the same way as Davenport. You got to make sure that he's healthy, he's fresh, and he helps our team by being on the field.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say, like, I'm so excited to have him here, but I'm so nervous for every play. Please don't just be a big signing that plays 3 games this year, Reader. Be a beast. The thing is, everyone's talking about Reader and Aleem. Levi was our best interior defensive lineman last week. It's so crazy that Levi could be the best interior defensive lineman at the end of the year for the Detroit Lions. And that's better than Aleem, better than Reader. Like, Levi could just be the best, which is nuts to think about. But the 3-headed monster that we have with Levi, McNeil, and Reader, even if there is an injury, I'm so okay. Like, I'm not okay, but I've never been like more confident in our depth. Like, truly, truly, truly. Levi stood out, but I am so excited to see the big boy Reader come and play. I hope it is just an immediate impact, and you see Reader and Levi or Aleem just pushing the inside with Hutch coming from the side. And I don't care if it's Pascal. I don't care if it's Houston. I do kind of hope it's Houston and Pascal, but I don't care who it is. Anyone, even if they want to bring up Ukwu, that would be fine. Like, any of these guys would be just fine as long as Reader, Aleem, and Levi are pushing that front 3 back into that quarterback, because Baker isn't like Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. He is not, his escapability is better than Stafford, right? But it is nowhere near a Josh Allen or anything of that nature. So if we can collapse that pocket on him quickly, we'll have a very good chance to win quite hefty today. But let's talk about a few more injuries.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
I don't know who clicked that, but right
Yeah,
on.
we had a little bit of breaking news happen. Justin Rogers just came out and tweeted that the Lions will be rocking the blue tops and silver pants against the Bucs. So no dark mode. That'll have to wait. But blue tops, silver pants.
The classic.
That's going to bring me to the one thing I wanted to talk about from the Rams game that I didn't get to. Everyone got so mad about this conspiracy about the blueberries and how they like hide defenders. I think it's true. I think you put that blue background, everyone in the stands wearing blue, all blue end zone, and all blue unis. Do I think it makes him camouflage like he's a hunter hunting a deer? No, not by any means.
Do you think the NFL told them?
Wait, what?
Do you think the NFL told the Lions to
Nah.
stop wearing the blueberries every week?
I would be
Because
mad.
they wear them every home game.
And we win every home game. And I think that I think it gives you a slight advantage odds in the end zone for that. I truly, truly do. I think it might be harder for Goff to see, but I also think it's harder for the opposing quarterback to see the Lions on defense in that. I know everyone's like, that's not a conspiracy. You're crazy. Don't think like that. Blah, 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 blah. I truly do think that it adds a minuscule odds advantage. And we all know in football, everything comes down to the smallest inch, dude, the smallest little centimeter. And if your odds are improved by 0.03% because you're wearing the blueberries, dude, why wouldn't we wear them every single time? So I'm actually not too excited to hear the silver pants. But
Kirby, he got that interception off Stafford, and it did look like Stafford just completely didn't see him. And then Warren Sharp, NFL analytics predictor, one of the bigger names out there, came out and said that he believes that Stafford completely didn't see him because Kirby was in the all blue standing on the Lions L, and it's all blue. And yeah, you could still see him, but if you're looking at a different receiver and Stafford's trying to do one of his no look, just like, passes like that, he didn't catch him out of the corner of his eye. And not saying for sure that's how it happened, but it definitely seemed like,
You know what I think about this whole thing, this whole conspiracy? Start wearing the blue helmets with the blueberries.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Make it better. Make the minuscule advantage that we have wearing these uniforms even better. And we've heard it on sound bites many times before. Jared Goff said, we always play good in our blueberries. We always play good in our blues. And guess what? I believe it too. I believe you, Goff. Let's wear the blueberries. Let's wear the blue helmets. Fuck the other team.
That's right, baby. That's right. Speaking of Kirby Joseph, he landed on our injury report questionable with a hamstring injury, which is always very scary. Guys, if we have no Iffy and Kirby is questionable, how important is it that he plays through this injury? Is it very? Is it not really? Save, rest him, and let's see what Brandon Joseph can do with Branch. What are we thinking here? Julius, lead us away.
I'm almost at a point with the Lions where I'm like, F it. Let Brandon Joseph get his. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see all these players in the spotlight, even like the Brandon Josephs and the Craig Reynolds and the Brock Reynolds and the Brock Wrights. These guys exist on the roster. The Khalif Raymonds. Give Brandon Joseph this shot. If his hammy, if Kirby Joseph's hammy is in 100, say it's 70, 80%, don't risk it. Start Brandon Joseph, Dan Campbell.
I love that. Adam, anything else?
I'm with you a little bit, Julius. I think Kirby, I'd like to see him be active, but more of just like a security blanket. Let Brandon Joseph go out there, and if he's just getting torched end on end, then try to see if Kirby can push through. But yeah, if we can, allow Kirby just to, get a little bit more rest. Hamstring injuries are delicate, so you never want to like push a dude. But I do believe in Brandon Joseph. He looked sharp in the preseason. He was a dude that kind of came on late. one of our better undrafted free agents as well. So, I think we should give Brandon Joseph a shot. But I do definitely want to see Kirby still suited up.
I agree with that. If Kirby doesn't suit up, I get a lot more nervous about how tweaked this hammy is. If he suits up but doesn't play a ton, then I'm kind of getting an understanding that like the guy can play if there's an injury. He can be out there. But yeah, let's just see what Joseph can do. If he doesn't play, that means we're a little worried, and that worries me. Hammies, as Adam said, are very delicate. Let's talk about an ankle injury to the best wide receiver in the NFL. Jameson Williams is questionable. The last thing I'm going to say about this Rams game, Jameson Williams gets injured early in the game, goes out for a play, comes right back. We all had nervous heart attacks. We were all texting each other, but he comes back. He then, in the third quarter, scores this amazing touchdown deep and goes to do yet another Madden dive into the end zone. It's becoming his thing, like the gritty for Jefferson. The Madden dive into the end zone is J-Mo's thing. However, when he does it, there's a guy right on his tail, gets his ankles, clips him, and he just kind of falls into the end zone. J-Mo, stop doing that, dude. Like, I know it's fun. I know you're having fun, and that's how you play well. If his ankle injury is questionable, not because of that initial hit, but because of that second hit on his ankles as he dove into the end zone, I'm furious. I am fuming. Like, if it's just because of that first injury where he went out and he came back, okay. If it is even that, why even try to Madden dive and put your ankles in this position to get hit again? Just run in, dude. You are faster than everyone. Just run in, please. The second he Madden dives and dislocates his shoulder or something, I'm going to freak out. J-Mo, I love it. Have fun. Do some sweet dances. Do your cowboy get up. Like, let's go. Stop with the Madden dives, dude. And if you are Madden diving, you need to be 30 yards away from any other player, in my opinion. However, J-Mo's ankle injury this week is not as bad as it would be in a couple weeks, in my opinion. This is the reason. Amon-Ra St. Brown eats the fucking Buccaneers. He eats. J-Mo doesn't need to have a huge game this week. I'd love it if he did. He's on every single fantasy team of mine except for one because Julius drafted him, that bastard. But anyways, I have him in every other league, and I want him to do great. But honestly, for the sake of the Detroit Lions, I want an Amon-Ra St. Brown game. I'm just nervous about this injury. Do we think – so here's the question. That's kind of what I was thinking. And before we dive into what you guys are thinking, my question is to you. We'll start with Adam. Do you think J-Mo plays, and how much of a necessity is it for him to play?
Yes, I do think he plays. And yeah, I still think we can handle the Bucs without him, even if he just ruled out as we did, I don't think he was a too big factor in the playoff game, but I know for sure. Actually, no. What am I thinking? He had a touchdown in the Bucs game the first time, the regular season. So maybe we do need him, but I don't know. I'm confident Amon-Ra. He is due for a bounce back game. This was so unlike him. If we were traveling to Tampa Bay, I would have a whole different opinion. But now that it's back in Ford Field, Jared Goff has been known to own Todd Bowles. I heard a stat on Pardon by Take. They said that Jared Goff averages 383 passing yards against Todd Bowles defenses, which part of it comes from when he was a Ram too, when he was dicing them up. But he did have a couple nice games when he was a Lion last year playing the Bucs twice. So my other concern, it's always tough to beat a team 3 times in like less than 2 seasons. Yeah.
Period.
So the more weapons, the more different we can look than those first 2 games, the better. Obviously, J-Mo being there would, give him a different look, a different deep threat. And, in the playoff game, I think that was Reynolds. It was either the Rams or the Bucs game when he kind of popped off. But nonetheless, J-Mo didn't do much in that playoff Bucs game. So I don't know if they kind of, schemed a little more to him or what. But Amon-Ra has had, I believe, 12 and 14 catches in those last 2 Bucs games, 77 and 112 yards and a touchdown in each. So I think he's due for a big game. And if J-Mo is out, I think it's more of just I don't know if the Lions can cover the spread, but we'll still be able to win.
Hell yeah. Julius, J-Mo ankle injury. Where does it got you lying? Do you think he plays?
Since he's practicing, I think he plays. And we got some mighty bets going this week with J-Mo. I think that J-Mo, their cornerback, they have some injuries in the secondary, just simply put. And that was the reason that J-Mo went off on the Rams last week too, in a way. But I'm not too worried about it. I do agree with you though, Nick, that J-Mo needs to chill out with all the flipping, the Madden flips, all that stuff. Just try to stay as healthy as possible because right now, J-Mo's legs are our greatest weapon on the Lions. I promise to God. I know we love Jahmyr Gibbs. I know we love Amon-Ra St. Brown. And we talked a lot about Amon-Ra St. Brown on the show a few days ago, Adam. Before this show today with Nick, how is J-Mo's emergence going to affect Amon-Ra St. Brown when we paid him like he's CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson? That's who we expect Amon-Ra St. Brown to be on that kind of salary cap. But if J-Mo emerges and he's really that guy because he's that guy, what are we talking about here? Is this an issue with the Lions? I don't want to go into all that right now on the show, but I think J-Mo plays, and I think he plays well again for week 2. And I just wonder if that's just going to be 100% positive.
Yeah. I think he plays too. Limited practice. I think he plays. Julius is right. Last one we'll talk about. I think this will be pretty quick. Penei Sewell, no practice, ankle injury. I think he plays. There's no way keeping him down. You guys agree?
Yeah, he's a freak. The only thing I could see that would, keep him out of the game is like snap one, he tweaks again, and that's how he misses the game. But yeah, I definitely see Penny suiting up unless some crazy fluke happens in the locker room or something like that. But Penny, we know who this dude is. He is a beast. He plays through everything. He's like a spitting image of Frank Ragnow, but on your tackle side. So him and Ragnow are the two, probably, honestly, our whole offensive line is just tough. But Penny, I do expect him to play.
I'm right there with you, Adam. I expect Penny to play. But, I mean, he's been dealing with this ankle injury. I remember when he first wrote it in the preseason. Just it's going to be wrapped tight. It's going to be a super wrapped tight ankle. So he might not be 100%. Don't be surprised if Penei Sewell give up a couple pressures or it's not his same elite agile self. But him playing at 80, 90% on that ankle is better than most of the league. So I'm good with it.
100%. 100%. Let's get to the Lions versus Bucs. All right. We've talked a bit about the Lions Bucs. Let's dive a little bit more into it. I have a few questions for us, but before we get to those questions, last time the Lions played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was at home in Ford Field at the NFC Divisional Championship game, my one and only playoff game I've ever gone to. Saw a victory, hung out with Adam. It was a great time. It was a great victory. It was a little bit closer than I wanted. Barnes with a pick, CJ with the pick. Guys, I have to ask, does Carlton Davis pick off former teammate Baker Mayfield today? Yes or no? Stamp it in the books. Does he do it? Or not today, but tomorrow. Yes or no? Does he do it?
I'm going to say, as much as I want him to, I'm going to say no. I think he is just going to be, a kind of not targeted type dude. I don't think he'll get a whole lot of targets. I want to say Amik, Terrion, those two guys will probably get picked on a little bit more. And if Carlton does get a pick and I am wrong, then I'm still happy. So
it's going to go right to the Dan Campbell commercial, dude. You all know it's going to right after it happens. Julius, does Carlton come away with a pick tomorrow?
I'm right there with Adam. Like, if I was a betting man, I would say no, just on the chances. However, you never know with these kind of revenge games. And evidently, according to Aaron Glenn, he gave the best opposition scouting report to the meeting room that he's ever heard. So I don't know. I think Carlton might be thinking a lot about this game. He had it circled on his schedule before the season when the Lions traded for him. And they didn't want to pay you. Just remember that.
They wanted
We did. Yeah,
that's right. To me, I think he does. I think it's like Montgomery. holding up the Bears thing last year, first game. He's like, I don't care about any other team. I want the Bears. I think Carlton wants Baker. I think he wants to cover Mike Evans. I think he wants to shut down Mike Evans. I predicted Mike Evans get 38 receiving yards in this game because of Carlton Davis. I think Chris Godwin goes pretty good against in the slot against our banged up safeties and our linebackers, but we'll see. I think Carlton Davis has the game of his career against Baker Mayfield, against Tampa Bay. He knows how to play him. Like you said, Aaron Glenn wanted to film Carlton Davis breaking down that team. That is just outstanding. That's the kind of player that we got, high NFL IQ, and I think he puts himself in position for a pick. Bad Baker throw. We know he's going to throw a pick or two. One will be to a linebacker and one will be to secondary. I hope Carlton gets it. Boys, how impactful is it that the Lions, even with the banged up JMO, are going up against a banged up secondary? Like Tampa Bay is looking slim, very similar to Los Angeles, though, where we didn't get our offense going. So how impactful is it that we get another game against a team that has injury concerns in the secondary, or does it not matter at all?
I don't think it matters a whole lot. The Lions, I mean, it's a little icing on the cake to, go up against a, banged up secondary. But we handled them last year twice when they had Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield healthy. I think the one guy that kind of concerns me is Big Vita Vea in the middle. Frank Ragnow should be able to hold his ground against him, though. So if the rush attack doesn't work, I know Dan Campbell already mentioned that he wants to get the rush attack going. Part of me thinks this might be just a little bit of a ploy to kind of like, oh, no, we're going to, get our rush attack going. And then next thing you know, Goff throws for 350 and Amon-Ra is, 126 yards, something like that. So I still think that the Lions, regardless healthy secondary or not, will have a solid outing of, passing yards.
Love it. Julius?
Adam, I love your brilliant synopsis with Dan Campbell's mind. Because I promise you that it's very much possible the Lions publicly put out that they're going to need to get their running game back on track. Just to think that the Buccaneers that's going to be their number one, and they're going to play action the hell out of Buccaneers and J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. I can't tell you which one, but one of them is going to go off. Now, I know Jared Goff is going to go off, but one of his weapons are going to go off. Who do y'all think that would be? Who do y'all think will be the biggest go off of the week if that happens?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Got to be Amon-Ra. I don't know if you guys saw or some of the Lions fans saw, but he completely missed a Montgomery block where I don't know if he just thought Montgomery was going down. It was just going to be a 5-yard rush. But literally, Montgomery's coming to the outside, and Amon-Ra's just standing there, literally, not even just doing a light engage, just standing there. And the dude makes the tackle. And not saying Montgomery would have scored, but he absolutely would have gotten extra 15, 20 yards and possibly scored if Amon-Ra was either driving that dude down or just had a good seal block. So Amon-Ra saw that. The coaches did. His dad especially, and we're like, you better not ever do this ever again. This is your one mistake. Don't ever mess up, because Amon-Ra, he's a perfectionist. He's a dude that does not like to make mistakes. And part of me feels like it was kind of late in the game. He knew it was just going to be a run up the middle, didn't expect Monty to squirt through and get to the outside. And so, I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt there. But this dude, he's a bounce back guy. Last year, he had, I want to say, a game against the Bears, maybe, where he had 3 receptions, 21 yards. It was not the worst game of the season. And then he followed that up with a touchdown. I want to say 96 yards and 9 catches or something. So he's a very big bounce back dude, or back and forth field. I think that's a huge, huge component of this game. Fans are going to be rocking, and I fully expect Amon-Ra to either have 100 yards or get a touchdown.
Yeah, I expect Amon-Ra St. Brown to have a get right game as well. But to be honest, I like Laporta a lot this week. Tampa Bay has a terrible tight end defense. What?
Said 3 touchdowns?
Maybe. I mean, Tampa Bay has a terrible tight end defense. last year, and I don't think they got much better. Right? We have a lot of key injuries in their secondary. They have a lot of key injuries in their secondary. I think Sam Laporta has a great game this week, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Everyone's gonna feast, dude. Everyone's gonna feast. But Adam, who leads our team in rushing yards this week?
Ooh, that's tough.
I know I'm putting you right on the spot. I didn't tell the boys that we were going to ask this question either.
Man, it's tough because it's essentially a coin flip between Monty just 5 yard, 5 yard, 5 yard, 5 yard, or Gibbs, just ripping off a 27-yard run, then a 10-yard run, and then they score a touchdown, but he's already at 40 yards in the first drive or something like that. I am gonna go with my bias side and go Jahmyr Gibbs. I think I'm gonna keep hammering this dude until he has his 175, 200 total yards type game where he is very capable of doing. And he's the type of dude that one play, he can take it to the house. I can't remember how he played against the Bucs last year.
But he had that sweet-ass touchdown against Antoine Winfield, juked him out of his pants.
That's right. Yes. So, yeah, give me Gibbsy.
Love that. Julius, who leads the team in rushing this week?
I'm gonna go David Montgomery. I'm gonna go David Montgomery on touchdown count, and we got this a big bet this week. Shout out to HB Big Bets. But I think we're gonna get down to the goal line quite a few times, and David Montgomery is that guy. David Montgomery is that guy. So I'm going with David Montgomery to lead the team in rushing. Although I do think Jahmyr Gibbs is more than capable of putting up at least 100 total yards and going off in his own right.
Yeah, so in that playoff game, Gibbs actually had 9 rushes for 74 yards and a touchdown with a 31-yard long. And then he also had 4 catches for 40 yards as well. So he was well over 100 yards.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Jared Goff leading the team. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to go Lamar Goff. People are talking. Yeah, I'm going to go with Montgomery as well. I think early in the season, Lions lean heavy on Montgomery, save Gibbs' legs a little bit more. They're still giving him his opportunities. He's still going to play. Do not worry. But they're going to lean a little bit heavier on Montgomery right now. After he won the agility contest, the stamina contest over the offseason, I think Dan Campbell is just going to ride David Montgomery like literally into the ground and through the ground and back up and then back into the ground and back up. Like he's just going to ride him over and over and over. So I'm also going to go with David Montgomery. Boys, we'll go right back to Julius. Let's getting towards the end of the show. You got a couple keys to victory. It doesn't have to be 3. Just be as many as you want. 1, 2, 3. What's a key to victory, Julius? Or a couple.
One key to victory is to exploit Buccaneers injury report. Right tackle's gone. Aiden Hutchinson. Cornerback 2 is gone. Jamison Williams. Number 1 safety is gone. The whole receiving core, most importantly, Sam Laporta. We need to take advantage of our health. Number 2 is inside pressure. DJ Reader is coming back. Ali McNeil's in there. Levi Ozariki, another big week. I'm looking for inside pressure, something that we haven't seen in pretty much years in Detroit. Like I always bring up Ndamukong Suh days and Sean Rogers days. That was always a strength of the Lions, even when they sucked. So I'm looking for that inside penetration. Also, I think I mentioned with Adam a couple of days ago on the show, Jamison Williams. His emergence coming. If he goes off for 100+ yards on the TD again, boys, we got a whole nother conversation.
So glorious.
So, shout out Jamison Williams. You're key to the game against the Buccaneers.
You are. Adam, with some
JMO having another 100-yard performance would feed every Detroit Lions family in Detroit, in Michigan, any Detroit fan in general. Oh my gosh, Twitter will explode. Twitter will explode. You would see all sorts of people still trying to, well, it was another fluke game. He won't do it again. And then he does it again week 3 and just so on. But JMO, I think he is one of the keys to victory. Obviously, if we didn't have him last week, I do not think we win that game. He was a big playmaker. I think the ankles should be all right. But I want to say I kind of agree with Dan Campbell, and this is why I said it. The running game, Last time we played the Bucs in the regular season, we won 26. Goff threw for 350. But David Montgomery, if you guys forgot, went out early with a rib injury. I want to say he had bruised ribs or something. And then this was also a game where Jahmyr Gibbs was dealing with hamstring injuries, so he did not play. And Craig Reynolds was our leading rusher, 10 carries, 15 yards. So
and that was what led to Craig Reynolds' big block for Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown.
Yeah,
That's
and it's what? I'm going to add that to key to victory. So J-Mo, grit. I want to see just, some grindy plays, good blocks, nothing big yard plays, just, your grit plays, essentially, like what Craig Reynolds did last time we played in the regular season, just stuff like that. And then third, I want to see a pass rush. I think that Stafford, it was kind of like deja vu with Stafford and Brock Purdy, where it was like, he's right there, get him. Oh my gosh, how do we not bring this dude down? And Baker is a little bit more slippery than Stafford, probably in the same category as Brock Purdy, where, they could make a 10-yard run, but they're not going to burn you with their legs. So contain Baker, kind of just rattle him, and we should be able to get the dub.
I love it. I got a couple victories myself. I'm going to go right with Adam, and that is the run game, but I'm going to kind of push it more. The key to victory is your front three: Ragnow, Glasgow, Zeitler. Those front three stopping Kalaja Kancey and Vita Vea, those two are dominant interior defensive linemen. Like, we talk about how good our interior defensive lineman is. Tampa's got a good interior defensive line with those two. Remember, we wanted Kalaja Kancey in the draft that year. We didn't end up getting him. We got
out this game too.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Yep. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, then even better, dude. Those front three better push Vita Vea back, and we're just going to run all over him. Jared Goff is my second key to victory. Like Adam said, 380 yards average against Todd Bowles' defenses. I want to see a 400 burger from him. Like, I want him throwing that ball up. Last key to victory is Carlton Davis. I talked about it a little bit already. Carlton Davis shut down Mike Evans. Last time we played the Bucs in the playoff game, Mike Evans had 628 yards, I'm pretty sure. Something of that sort. It was terrible. Cam Sutton couldn't guard a fucking piece of rice sitting on the ground. Like, it was terrible, dude. So we have upgraded that position. Carlton Davis go lock down Mike Evans. Everyone else be great. Let's talk about some predictions for the score. Last week, we predicted the Rams game. Let's just remind everyone. Nick had the Lions winning 31-28, overshot it. Adam came second in score prediction, had the Lions winning 27-13. But Julius takes home the cake for the score prediction, predicting a 31-20 win. We won 26-20. You were 5 points off. Very good guess. When it came to offensive MVP, I took Amon-Ra St. Brown. Whoopsies. Adam took Jared Goff. Yeah. Julius took the fucking man, the myth, the legend, Jameson Williams. So he won offensive MVP. Let's talk about defensive MVP. I took Brian Branch. He had a good game. Not great. Julius took Jack Campbell. Didn't get a lot of snaps. Good game. Not great. Adam took Hutch. Hutch had an amazing game. Adam wins defensive MVP. So the score goes, we all got 1 point for picking the correct winner. Julius won the score. Julius won offensive MVP. Adam won defensive MVP. Julius leads with 3 points. Adam has 2 points. I have 1 point. Let's talk about week 2. I am going to predict the Lions win. I'm going to write this down as I do it. Lions win 30-20. 30-20 Lions. 30-20 Lions. And I get to pick first for MVPs. I'm going to go offensive MVP. Go back to the well, boys. Amon-Ra St. Brown, go back to the well. Give me ASB. Defensive MVP, I'm just going to take Hutch. Hopefully he gets me a sack and gest me the MVP so I can get a point there. Adam, you are next. Give me a winning team, a score, an offensive MVP, and a defensive MVP.
I'm going to go 34-21. I think the Lions kind of handle them start to finish. And I will go offensive MVP, my boy Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he has another 100-yard total performance and a touchdown, but really wanted Amon-Ra, so I'm bummed you took him, Nick. But and then my defensive MVP, I'm gonna go Carlton Davis.
Love
I
that.
think he is either going to be targeted minimal because he's just shutting down whoever, or he'll make a big play. I expect him to either get a tackle for loss, a sack, an interception, a forced fumble, something like that, more than just, your tackles and pass breakups. So Carlton Davis, defensive MVP.
Love it. Julius, take us home. Give me a team. Give me a score. Give me an OMVP. Give me a DMVP.
I'm gonna go Lions 31, Buccaneers 24. I'm gonna go offensive MVP, J-Mo.
Back again.
Goes back again. If it ain't broke, don't fix
I
it.
hope so. I already have so many bookmarked things.
Jameson himself.
I got
And then
into you go ahead, Julius.
Go ahead, Adam. Go
I
ahead.
got into a dispute with this dude on Twitter, and all I've been thinking about since like Tuesday is just like, J-Mo, please show this dude up, because he's like, oh, it's a fluke game. Oh, J-Mo, blah, 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 blah. And so I did a little deep dive on J-Mo, and literally he's played 14 games. This was only his second game with over 80% of the snaps. And if you look at other just wide receiver twos, they like get 80% of the snaps. Like, he's finally playing the position that he's in, I guess. And when he did have those 60% snaps, that's when it was like the wide receiver 3, the wide receiver 4, the, like Josh Palmer's, the, just random third string dudes that wouldn't get much time. So when J-Mo did get his opportunities, he played very well. And I'm excited to see his usage just stay 80 and above.
Hell yeah.
J-Mo, offensive MVP. Defensive MVP. Just remind me of who your two were.
Yeah, I took Hutch. He took Carlton Davis. So you still have Reader, Branch, Levi.
I got a feeling in my bones. That Brian Branch is pissed off that he missed 3 tackles last week.
And possibly pick 6.
There are even people talking negatively about Brian Branch this week on sports radio and on the blogs. Brian Branch don't play that shit. Give me Brian Branch, defensive MVP.
Love it. Second week in a row, no one picks Anzalone. He was the runner-up yesterday or last week.
That's who I was going to pick.
He's the dark horse every week.
He's the dark horse every week. That was our show. Make sure you go enjoy the Lions Tampa Bay game tomorrow. Adam, take us out.
Yeah, as always, check us out on Honolulu Blues _. It's where we post all the goods, all the news, all the stats, all the Dan Campbell Applebee's videos. We get them out quick. Check out Nick Faber NFL for some, Tigers fun, some Lions fun, some awesome faces. And then, of course, Julius, my man, the 5th top, Mr. Quiet, but every now and then has a banger tweet, it seems. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, Spotify, wherever, give us a like, subscribe. We appreciate it all. But once again, go.